Glen Beck reports that the Federal Reserve has lent $500 billion to a bank that is on the verge of going broke. How a bank can go broke is beyond the comprehension of most people, since money in a bank is electronic vaporware to begin with, and not anything of value at all. Paper money, aka fiat currency, is merely the method the banks use to rob people of their productivity. It is a scheme to enslave the entire planet. It is a Ponzi scheme that has worked for over 100 years. I am intimately familiar with banking and brokerage, as I worked for IBM for 25 years, the last 6 of which I was one of the top specialists on 1419, 3890, and 3895 IBM check sorters shown in the photos following. Wall Street has been a legal gambling operation for quite some time, the price of a stock having more to do with hype and prestige rather than the actual worth of the company it represents. Paper money isn't worth the paper it's printed on. The only reason it buys things is that mutual illusion of worth, which is fading fast. These are photographs of the IBM 3890 check sorters, which are 40 feet long, that I worked on for many, many years. Going back to the gold standard won't work. In fact, it will make things worse. There is not enough gold on the planet to back what is in circulation as paper, never mind all of this fluff that is merely bits in a computer being shuffled around and being materialized out of thin air on a whim of some economist somewhere. Sooner or later, the Peter that was robbed to pay Paul will demand to be paid back.
Now, we all remember and recognize the names and the situation of Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, 2 giant investment banks that were caught with their pants down when the housing market and the CDO market fell apart in 2008. We all know that. But for the most part, what we don't know is that for both banks, there was an attempt to save them. In both cases, the night before the 2 largest and most prestigious investment banks in the world collapsed, the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States had attempted to give them huge loans, tens of billions of dollars, to try to bail them out each. $50 billion for one bank. So what? Last night, the U.S. Federal Reserve announced its largest, this is now current history, last night. The Federal Reserve announced its largest ever overnight lending program, larger than the attempted repo loan that was to have bailed out Bear Stearns in 2008 by a factor of 10. The Federal Reserve last night loaned more than $500 billion into the overnight liquidity market. That's where the banks show up to borrow some money because they don't have enough cash on hand to cover opening the doors the next day. $500 billion one night. Now, there are only a few banks that could possibly be measured to have liabilities or cash needs in the $500 billion range. Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, People's Bank of China, Mitsubishi Financial, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank. The largest banks in China, the largest banks in Japan, the largest bank in Germany, and the largest banks in the U.S. There is a precedent for COVID-19, the Spanish flu of 1918. We know how to navigate those waters. But there is no precedent in world history for a bank lending $500 billion to another bank in one night to cover the market losses. $500 billion is larger than the annual GDP of most nations on planet Earth. In 2008, it was a death rattle. Bear Stearns. In 2020, based on what the Fed did last night, what is it that we're hearing? What domino is weak? They're telling us the banks are fine. They're telling us the banks are good, and they probably are. But a $500 billion overnight loan is unprecedented. Keep your eye on the financial sector.
What is it that I've been telling all of you for over 2 years? This financial system, this clusterfuck, is destined to collapse. The only thing that will fix it is a complete reset. The money is about to be changed. Listen to this.
Check this out. The Federal Reserve Bank lent $500 billion to some fucking bank. We don't know which one it is.
They lent it to them?
Yeah, overnight. $500 billion. $500 billion.
They're moving money, Dave. They're moving money.
Yeah, they're moving money. They're doing something.
Collapse. For this collapse, they're moving money. Because they already know. Look, hey, they got heads up that Trump's changing the currency.
Yep.
That's a given, dude. We already knew that he was changing it.
I've been saying that shit for 2 years. The fucking currency is already fucking printed.
I showed you paperwork where it was happening.
I know. I tell you.
Conversation. Listen. I'm glad you told me, because that's the telltale sign right there. That's the one. When you see banks moving massive amounts of money, Trump's fixing to change the currency. It's exactly what that call said.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what it is. That's a round table from the White House. I don't know why it hadn't happened yet, but when they move massive amounts of money, that's a global reset, because we're changing American money. We're not changing foreign money. You understand? So you got to get it offshore. You got to hide it in a different bank.
Fucking unbelievable. Makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Doesn't make sense.
Makes sense to me.
We don't know which bank though, right?
No, we don't know. You know, it could be one of like 5 banks.
I bet you it's offshore. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. It's not a United States-based bank.
Fucking unbelievable.
It's a no-brainer. You should have knew that as soon as you seen it. I'm glad you told me.
Please subscribe to our backup channels. Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot channel, BitChute.com/net4Truth USA, and drop.space/@Net4Truth USA. We fly so close to the target, we are on our 5th fighter jet. We will be relentless and persistent until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/net4truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.